Well, I'll tell you what, why don't we kick into our first conversation here?
Okay.
Let's go live via the interwebs to Iain Macleod. He's the Executive Director of Squam Lake's Natural Science Center over in Holderness. There he is. Iain, how are you today?
I'm good, Scott. How are you? Good to see you.
We're doing great. Greg and I are already having a good time, and we'd love to chat with you now for a couple minutes about a little bit about what you do. I know that Squam Lakes is an absolute magnet for nature and outdoor lovers. You have some amazing things and plant life, animals, things on display for people to check out. Tell us a little bit about what they would experience coming through your gates.
Exactly, yeah. So the Squam Lakes Natural Science Center's mission is to advance understanding of ecology by exploring New Hampshire's natural world. We do that through a number of different ways. Probably what we're most known for is the trail here in Holderness. It's about a 3/4 mile exhibit trail where we have a large collection of native New Hampshire wildlife. All of these animals are here because they can't be in the wild for some reason. They're either injured or imprinted or born in captivity or orphaned. And we're able to give them a home. These are native New Hampshire wildlife. So we have things like mountain lions and bears and foxes and white-tailed deer, a whole selection of raptors and owls, fish, mink, you name it. Just about anything that you can see in your backyard here in New Hampshire, we have here in our collection at the Science Center. And people are able to come, they're able to walk, experience these animals up close. In our exhibits, learn about them, learn about their lives, how they survive, how they interact with each other, their habitats, etc. In addition to that, we do a wide variety of programs. We have a whole other collection of animals that goes on the road with us, with our naturalists. We could literally take a porcupine to your Kiwanis club, or to a television station or whatever it might be, to schools all over the state. So it's sort of no better way for children, for all people of all ages, to find out about these animals, to see them, to hear them, to smell them up close and personal, and that's really what we do every day.
Iain, did you find that during the last year, so many folks that we talked to yesterday sort of had to, I wouldn't say reinvent themselves, but sort of pivot in how they did things so they could still reach the community? Did you guys have to do that last year? If so, how did you do that?
We did, and I hope that I never have to use the word pivot again.
I know.
It's just an awful word. But anyway, it was a very different year for us last year. We were not able to open the trail until June 15th. Normally, we open up the trail May 1st. We had to cancel all of our school programs. Normally, we would have 10,000 kids coming here in May and June. We had to cancel all of those. Our Blue Heron School, we have this wonderful on-site year-round preschool and kindergarten. We had to close that and go virtual. And believe it or not, our teachers actually did Zoom calls with 3, 4, and 5, and 6-year-olds every morning, just trying to keep them involved with the school. We had a kindergarten class that needed to graduate, so they were sending work home with them. All of our naturalists had to learn how to do programs virtually. So they had to learn about cameras and lights and all the stuff that you guys have to work with, but that's not the way they learned how to educate people. So yeah, we definitely had to pivot. Thankfully, this year is much more normal. We've still got a few, things that are overthrows from last year. We're still doing timed ticketing for the trail just to kind of control the numbers a little bit. Mm-hmm. But being an outdoor experience, we've been able to open up safely, and people are having a fantastic time. And it's great to welcome people back in still controlled numbers, but larger numbers than last year.
Right. And I know that you have so much exposure for the children to be able to, like you said, smell the animals and get outside and see what they look like in their natural habitat and learn about them. What comes of that from a young mind when you're able to expose them to these animals and to the plant life and to nature, to increase that level of understanding, of appreciation of their environment? What does that do in terms of their growth and appreciating it as adults?
Well, we hope that these will, some of the folks that come here are inspired for life. They'll have an experience here that just triggers a lifelong passion, a stewardship for the environment, for nature, for land. We sort of think of our preschool kids who get this, year-round exposure. When they leave here, they are so comfortable in the woods. They are the leaders within their families when they come here. They know every critter. They know about insects and bugs and spiders, whatever it is. So they just, hopefully that'll be something that will inspire them in the future. We know that we do have kids who've come to a program here, who become interns, who have now set about a career in environmental education or in conservation. And so it doesn't if there's just a few stories like that where people have that lifelong connection, then that's what it's all about. That's what we're here to do.
And taking what Scott said and kind of bumping it up to the adult level, I don't know about you guys, but if there was ever a year to give us a newfound respect and appreciation for being outdoors in nature, this last year kind of gave it to us, because the governor did his home hike challenge. So many people were seeking sort of solace in the outdoors. That can only be a positive thing for you.
Absolutely, yeah. It was so wonderful to see people just getting outdoors and experiencing that. Of course, there was a little overexposure at times on some of the trails we heard about in New Hampshire, but certainly we've seen terrific response so far this year. People seem to be so excited to be outdoors, to be seeing the wildlife, to be experiencing. We've got a brand new exhibit this year about raptors, birds of prey, and people are just loving it. There's a lot of nice interactive features, as well as just being able to see these wonderful birds on display. And so, people are excited to be out, and we're happy to be open and happy to be sharing that with thousands of people who are coming to visit us.
I hope you have a great year.
Iain Macleod, Executive Director of Squam Lakes Natural Science Center in Holderness. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful summer and enjoy the return of humanity to your gates.
Great. Thank you so much. And thanks so much to the community out there who are just making such a difference for so many great organizations. Thank you all.
Our pleasure.